it was something that needed to be discussed.
She'll discuss how all of a sudden things which seem so important are so irrelevant, and the really important things, family, life, friends, are suddenly so obvious. As Mandy knows, walks through Harrison High for the last time, the words on the wall ring truer than ever. Only as high as you reach can you grow.
I'm just trying to tell people if they need help, then they can always come, they can call me, or, I mean, we can always come down here and just ask, because I'm afraid that they don't want to ask us, so if we just keep coming down, they're going to find stuff for us to do.
As you can see by someone like Mandy or all the other people that we've been interviewing, people in Harrison are really coming together and working together. I know we've said that, but it's the truth. In fact, one teacher here at this high school said that for the first time, he's met everybody on his street. They're all working together.
That is good. And talking about family and friends, I spoke to some in here. The baccalaureate ceremony's going to go on in just a few minutes, and the graduation at 8 o'clock tonight. They are so happy to be here. In fact, we're going to talk to a mother about that at 6 o'clock. Also, Joe Lizura is going to talk about how many tornadoes we have had just in the end of the tornado season. So he'll be back here in just a few minutes. Reporting live from Harrison, I'm Toria Hammil, News 5.
Okay, thanks a lot, Toria, and thanks, Jeff. Now, the Meadows neighborhood, the hardest hit area in Harrison, is still off limits tonight. Police are asking that everyone stay out of that neighborhood except people who live there or folks who have legitimate business there.
Well, federal disaster aid will be available very soon in Dearborn County, Indiana. Indiana Governor Evan Bayh toured his tornado-ravaged state today, including here in Wright, where nearly 40 homes were destroyed. Bayh told the tornado victims a mobile crisis center will be in the county Friday or Saturday to take applications for grants for low-interest loans.
In a perfect world, we'd have a magic wand that we could wave and just make it all better. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. We've seen some of that here today. The money's one part. It's going to take a long time, I'm sure, for the psychological scars of these folks to heal.
The exact day and location for the assistance center is not known yet. Of course, we'll pass that information along to you just as soon as we have it. Sherri?
Now, while the devastation in Wright and Harrison was awful, we have a miracle to tell you about tonight. A Harrison woman began having her baby while riding through the tornado in a car. Our team report continues with News 5's Marty Pieratt showing us how a young family's life is going on tonight after a harrowing experience.
With a tornado like this one bearing down on Dearborn and Hamilton counties, the last place Jeff Krimpelman wanted his family to be was in a Harrison mobile home. This mobile home. What made the situation unbelievably stressful, his wife was having a baby. Her contractions were just 20 minutes apart. They jumped into their car and headed for her parents' home in Wright, which was being blown away at the time. As they winded their way up this Indiana hillside, they ran smack dab into a killer tornado.
The wind started picking up, and pretty soon it just, everything was just brown, and you couldn't see nothing. I said, well, we're going to take cover.
In the car with the couple was their 3-year-old daughter. Playful now, she was terrified then.
I just kept on thinking about my daughter. I didn't know. I was just holding her in my arms, and I thought, oh, if we hit a tree, she's going to get hurt, and I just held on to her for dear life.
When this young family finally reached the top of the hill, their car was sideways in the road, and everything was quiet. They had driven through the eye of the storm and survived. They made it to Sherri's parents. The house was still standing. The 52 trees around it were ripped apart. The greatest news, after a long labor, little 7-pound Cody was born at Christ Hospital. The tornado baby is doing great. So is Mom. Little sister Danielle has gone from a frightened child to a proud sister. You think it was scary? Glad it's over? Glad you got a baby brother? In Harrison and Wright, Marty Pieratt, News 5.
What an amazing story.
A wonderful story nobody suffered more than the people of Indiana. We have deaths in Indiana, luckily Ohio not, and to see a life come out of it, wonderful.
Coming up, a pregnant woman jumps out of a window to escape a fire.
And we have a recall for something that might be in your refrigerator. Stay with us. Three people are recovering in a Chicago hospital tonight after fire literally chased them out of a third-floor window. Just look at these pictures. A witness caught on his video camera. A pregnant woman jumped headfirst into a blanket held by firefighters 3 stories below. Then, seconds later, her husband toppled down to safety. Both are in serious condition, though the mother and her unborn baby are doing pretty well tonight. Investigators say careless smoking is the cause of that fire. Well, a house fire in our area has left 6 people searching for a new home. The fire broke out on this house on Flora Street shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. Firefighters say 2 rooms on the first floor were burning out of control when they arrived on the scene. 11-year-old Cassandra Glover tells News 5 her 4-year-old brother was playing with matches in a downstairs bedroom when a mattress suddenly caught on fire.
They got the kids out, which was me, my brother, my other brother, my mom, and my grandpa, and then they went back in there and they got out my grandma and then it bursted into flames.
Firefighters are still investigating the cause of the fire. The home next door was also damaged.
We have serious warning tonight about food recalls. A Louis Rich company is recalling its bun-length turkey franks. The hot dogs were shipped to 6 states, including Ohio. Now, the recall is only a precaution. The company says no one has gotten sick from eating the hot dogs, but it simply does not want to take any chances at all. Here are the serial numbers for the packages being recalled so you can be sure. The date is July the 1st. The code number is P6751. Louis Rich describes the problem as a breakdown in processing, and some of the franks may not be totally cooked. The company is asking customers to check their packages for these code numbers and return the franks for a full refund. It's always scary when that happens, but so far nobody has gotten sick from them, so don't be too worried at this point.
Check the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than a bad hot dog. Still ahead, Joe says more severe weather could be on the way.
We'll get ready for that in his forecast coming up.
This has been a year where if anything could happen in weather, it certainly has. And
unfortunately,
we're having more of it.
A very active season, and it looks like more thunderstorms will be rolling into the tri-state late tonight and for tomorrow's weather.
Anything, I mean, when you talk about thunderstorms and severe weather coming in, everybody's going, is it anything like we've had?
Not anything like we've had, but some strong winds are going to come this way, and we could see maybe a severe thunderstorm watch or something like that issued sometime tomorrow. But we won't see any rain before midnight tonight. Some fairly strong thunderstorms are going to be moving this way. And that brings up the question, a lot of folks have been calling, asking us at the Weather Center if it's unusually late in the spring season for this kind of severe weather and the strong thunderstorms and tornadoes like we had over the weekend. For the answer to that, we go to Chief Meteorologist Joe Lizura, who's live over in Harrison. Joe?
Hey, Chris. Yeah, I'm out here in Harrison again. Just amazing amount of damage. And you're right. One of the main questions has been, why is it that we get one of, if not, one of the top 5 at least, worst tornado outbreaks in the Midwest, over 100 tornadoes, this late in the year? We're talking about early June. Well, statistically, it is late, but not that unusual. Let me show you what Ohio normally gets during the course of the year. Here's how it stands. We get 9% of our tornadoes during March. We get another 23% during April. May comes in surprisingly low at 13%, but take a look at June. We get almost a quarter, 22% of our tornadoes hit us during June, and another 11% during July, and the rest of the year in significant amounts. So surprisingly, April and June come in as the worst. Now, real quick, let me show you what we are expecting. There are severe thunderstorms that are in the Central Plains states. That is for tonight. Now, look at tomorrow. They do move into the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. I don't think they're going to be that strong, but nonetheless, we do have the possibility of strong winds mixing up in there. So we are going to keep you posted on that. So, Chris, go ahead and give them all the details on this, and let them know that we're going to keep them updated throughout the day.
We certainly will. If anything happens, we'll let them know first.
Right.
Let's take a look at a satellite photo. There's strong thunderstorms right now over the Central Plains and over the northern Great Lakes. If you put a satellite photo in motion, you'll see them slowly starting to move this way. So we'll see more clouds developing tonight. Thunderstorms near sunrise tomorrow, low temperature tonight, right around 58 degrees. Now, for tomorrow's weather, some of the thunderstorms may be strong early in the day, but things should clear out for the afternoon, as this is a very fast-moving storm system with a high temperature tomorrow afternoon right around 80 degrees. Here's today's weather picture showing some pretty heavy rain with the thunderstorms we're expecting tomorrow. Comes to us from Luke Pudnick, a 9-year-old third grader at St. John the Baptist School. Again, Joe will be here with a full update on the weather, a more extensive look at those thunderstorms coming in. He'll have that for you at 6 o'clock, and we'll be keeping an eye on it from the Weather Center.
Yeah, stay tuned, because things happen so quickly this time
Very
of year.
quickly.
Thanks
What a great name, Luke.
Yeah.
Luke.
I like that. Nice name, nice drawing. Still ahead in sports, you'll meet a local football hero who's making it in the art world. Greg Hoard has that story coming up.
Now, the best part of last night's game is they got it all out of their system in one game.
We hope.
We hope. Yes, we do hope.
We sat here last night at this time, and I said, they won. It's over. Nobody can touch them.
Yes.
They stink. Stand alone. No.
And I've cautioned you about that.
Yes, but
hey, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. They had a bad night. That's all
It happens. You ever have a bad day? Try it. Let's
talk
see.
about the Reds.
Let's see.
Reds are back at Candlestick Park tonight, and they'll try to get even. We'll have the game for you at 10:30 right here on Channel 5, and we'll talk more about that 10-1 loss in a few minutes at 6. But right now we're going to tell you about a man who traveled from the spit and grit world of football to the world of art. Our Len Matuszek introduces us to Greg Storr.
It seems like almost every year, someone out of Moeller High School is making it big in sports. The tradition associated with the Crusader athletic program has almost reached legendary status.
Many athletes at Moeller dream of making it to the big show. But there was one guy, around the time I was going to school here, who even though he went on to play major college football, was painting a picture of an entirely different show.
Long before he was ever interested in football, Greg Storr had a love for painting and drawing. The former tight end who played 4 years at Ohio State in the mid-'70s can still remember how it all began.
I was 9 years old. My dad used to paint quite a bit. He would take me on his little road trips and excursions. I'd play in the creek while he set up his easel.
Soon, football became important to Greg, and the combination of the artist-athlete was born.
Those two worlds really don't meet. They're like two lines in space, and they just kind of intersect at one point. There's just not a lot of people that meet those two criteria.
But Greg definitely met them. Recently, an exhibit of his golf landscape paintings was on display at Clausen's Gallery. A great achievement, considering all the time and effort it took to pursue two totally different worlds.
I imagine it was quite a challenge for him, but I think his determination, I think he had, like I said, he had the discipline as a student.
So football and an overall love of sports has been the foundation for Greg's artwork. His paintings reflect his own lifestyle and the elements which surround it.
I'm just kind of a jock that's out there trying to paint, and I paint things that appeal to me.
And if you love sports or art, his work will appeal to you as well. I'm Len Matuszek, News 5 Sports.
Interesting thing about Greg is he started out painting Moeller program, covers for Moeller program football.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a
and that was one of the first things that he did. And it's tough. It's tough when you have an artistic bent to be in the world of athletics because you take a lot of grief from a lot of people.
Odd
Sports
combination.
and art. Yeah. Nice to know that I can do neither.
Glad you informed us of that. Up next on News 5 at 5:30, it's quite a caper. It started out with an explosion and ended up making some robbers very rich, and it happened right here in town.